Title: The Whispering Woods. In the small town of Eldridge, legends murmured about the whispering woods that bordered the local cemetery. They said the woods were a portal to an alternate reality, one where the past and present wove together into a tapestry of darkness and despair. Teenagers often dared each other to enter the woods at night, but none ever ventured far enough to prove the stories true. That is, until an unassuming girl named Clara decided to break the tradition. Clara was a curious soul, always fascinated by things others feared. She was drawn to the eerie thrill of danger, the thrill of stepping into the woods backed by her determination to discover the truth. With Halloween approaching, a night of dares and ghost stories fueled her resolve, and she planned to enter the woods that very night. Underneath the silvery glow of a full moon, Clara set out with a flashlight and her close friend, Adam. They approached the edge of the trees, where the moonlight crouched in shadows, whispering secrets only they could hear. They had gathered a small group of friends, Amy, Ben, and Lucas, who were equally spurred by the allure of the unknown. Clara turned to the group, her heart racing. "Let's see if the stories are true," she said, her voice a mixture of excitement and fear. As they stepped into the woods, a shiver traveled down Clara's spine, but she brushed it off as excitement. The air was thick and the ground was slick with a mosaic of fallen leaves that crunched underfoot. The trees loomed above, their gnarled branches curling like skeletal fingers reaching towards the sky. Minutes turned into hours as they wandered deeper, lost in banter and creeping dread. The familiar sounds of the night, crickets chirping, leaves rustling, began to fade into an unsettling silence. Suddenly, Clara felt it, a strange pull, like a voice beckoning her from beyond the trees. "Do you hear that?" she asked. "Hear what?" Ben replied, shrugging. "It's like whispering," she said, her voice trembling slightly. The others exchanged skeptical glances but followed Clara as she moved deeper into the woods. The whispers grew louder, resonating with a distinct urgency. They coiled around her thoughts, urging her to push deeper into the heart of the forest. "Guys, look at this," Clara said, spotting an old, twisted oak tree ahead, its bark warped and inviting. At the base, she noticed an oddly shaped door, almost camouflaged against the wood. "You can't be serious," Adam said, hesitating. "I have to see what's inside," she insisted. With a deep breath, she tugged at the door. It creaked open, revealing a dark passage lined with slimy stones and a faint emerald light that beckoned them closer. Despite the nagging fear clawing at her thoughts, Clara stepped inside, with the others reluctantly following. Inside, the air felt warmer, the atmosphere charged with energy. Clara's heart raced as they emerged into an astonishing sight. A world almost identical to their own but so palpably different. The colors were richer, more vibrant, and a heavy fog blanketed the landscape. In this strange realm, time seemed to warp. Clara noticed that everyone appeared slightly older, their expressions clouded with a quiet dread. "Do you feel it?" Clara whispered. "We're not alone here." Quote, suddenly, whispers enveloped them, swirling like a tempest, echoing their fears and regrets. Each person began to experience flashes of their most haunting memories. Clara was frozen as echoes from her childhood enveloped her mind, her parents' bitter arguments, her deepest insecurities creeping back to the surface. Adam staggered, reliving the horrors of losing his little sister in a drowning accident. With monstrous clarity, Clara realized they were trapped in this alternate reality, conjured by their own darkness and fears. "We need to leave," Ben shouted, panic streaking across his face. As they turned to flee, the whispers intensified, pulling at their resolve. "Stay with us," they murmured, slithering into their minds. The realization hit like a thunderclap. The woods fed off them, feeding on their regrets, their brokenness. "Don't look back," Clara yelled, taking charge of the frantic escape through the oppressive fog. Together they navigated the nightmare, running past halting figures that mirrored their shadows. They finally returned to the doors of the twisted oak tree, their hearts pounding in their chests. The friends pushed through together, tumbling onto the forest floor, gasping for fresh air, relieved to feel the cool night breeze. As they emerged into the real world, they were met with the shrill cries of the night. The forest behind them fell silent, as if it had devoured their screams. Shaken, Clara and her friends glanced at each other, understanding glimmering in their eyes. They weren't just haunted by the woods. They now carried the shadows with them, binding them together in a way they could only begin to understand. They stepped back, vowing never to return. But deep down, Clara couldn't help but feel the whispers would always linger, shifting just beyond the edge of reality, waiting for their next chance to draw her back into the depths of the Whispering Woods.